Christopher Columbus, known in Italian as Cristoforo Colombo and in Spanish as Cristóbal Colón, remains one of history's most debated and influential explorers. Born between August and October 1451 in Genoa, then part of the Republic of Genoa, modern-day Italy, he reshaped global history through his voyages across the Atlantic. His expeditions, sponsored by the Spanish monarchy, opened the Americas to European exploration and colonization, an event that forever altered trade, culture, and power dynamics across the globe. Little is known with certainty about Columbus's early years, but it is believed he came from a middle-class family of wool weavers. As a young man, he developed a passion for the sea and navigation. By his 20s, he was working aboard merchant ships in the Mediterranean and along the coasts of Africa. During this time, he absorbed the latest geographical theories, studied maps, and learned the art of celestial navigation. He settled in Portugal for a period, a hub of maritime innovation, where he married Filippa Pestrello, the daughter of a noble seafarer. This connection gave him access to valuable charts and logs, further fueling his ambitions. Columbus was deeply influenced by the writings of ancient and medieval scholars, including Ptolemy and Marco Polo. He became convinced that Asia, particularly the wealthy lands of Cathay China and Chupanri Japan, could be reached by sailing west across the Atlantic, rather than by the long overland or southern sea routes controlled by rival powers. His calculations, however, underestimated the Earth's circumference and the vastness of the ocean. Despite this error, his vision was bold: to find a new trade route to the East Indies that would benefit Christian Europe and weaken Muslim dominance over spice and silk markets. For years, Columbus sought royal backing for his westward voyage. He petitioned the Portuguese court, but was rejected. In 1485, he moved to Spain, where he spent nearly a decade lobbying King Ferdinand and Queen Isabel I. After the completion of the Reconquista in 1492, the Spanish monarchs agreed to sponsor his expedition. They granted him the titles Admiral of the Ocean Sea, Viceroy, and governor of any lands he might discover, along with a share of the riches he would bring back. On August 3, 1492, Columbus set sail from Palos de la Frontera with 3 ships, the Niña, the Pinta, and the Santa María. After a month at sea, on October 12, his crew spotted land, likely an island in the present-day Bahamas, which he named San Salvador. He believed he had reached the outskirts of Asia, and referred to the indigenous Taino people as Indians. Over the following weeks, he explored other islands in the Caribbean, including Cuba and Hispaniola, modern-day Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, searching for gold and signs of a mainland empire. Encouraged by his findings, Columbus returned to Spain in March 1493, bringing exotic plants, animals, and several Taino captives. He was celebrated as a hero, and the monarchs quickly authorized a second, larger expedition. Between 1493 and 1502, he led 3 more voyages across the Atlantic. He explored the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, and the coasts of Central and South America. On his final voyage, he reached the mainland near present-day Panama, becoming one of the first Europeans to glimpse the Pacific Ocean from the American side. Despite his achievements, Columbus's later years were marked by disappointment and conflict. He had been appointed governor of the lands he discovered, but his administration was marred by brutality, mismanagement, and accusations of tyranny. Reports of his harsh rule reached Spain, and in 1500, he and his brother Bartholomew were arrested and sent back in chains. Though later pardoned, his authority was stripped, and he never regained the full favor of the crown. He died on May 20, 1506, in Valladolid, Spain, still believing he had found a western route to Asia. The legacy of Christopher Columbus is profound and complex. His voyages initiated the Columbian Exchange, the widespread transfer of plants, animals, culture, human populations, technology, and diseases between the Americas and the Old World. Crops like potatoes and maize transformed European agriculture, while horses and sugarcane reshaped the Americas. Yet this exchange came at a terrible cost. The spread of smallpox and other diseases decimated indigenous populations, and European colonization led to exploitation, slavery, and cultural erasure. In modern times, Columbus's figure has become a subject of intense debate. While once celebrated as a brave explorer and discoverer, He is now also criticized for enabling colonial violence and the suffering of native peoples. Statues and holidays honoring him have been reevaluated or removed in many places, reflecting a growing recognition of the full historical impact of his actions. Nevertheless, his role in history is undeniable. Columbus's courage, navigational skill, and unwavering determination opened a new chapter in human history. He did not discover America in the sense of being the first to set foot there. Indigenous civilizations had thrived for millennia, but he made the connection between continents that changed the course of global development. Today, Christopher Columbus remains a symbol of exploration, ambition, and the unintended consequences of human curiosity. His story reminds us that history is rarely black and white, and that the figures we admire often carry both light and shadow. From a Genoese sailor to a man who reshaped the world map, his journey continues to inspire, challenge, and provoke reflection centuries after his death.